Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mutahar, and I'm dealing with the flu right now. But I'll be real with you. I think I'm actually holding up pretty well. I think we're gonna make it, boys and girls. But you know what? Even if I do make it, I unfortunately have to live in a world where the Apple fanboy is an absolute window licker. Now, I'm one of those people where I don't care what device you use. Do you like Androids? Okay, cool. Do you like iPhones? Cool. Do you like Nokias? Do you like Windows phones? Whatever, dog. As long as it makes a call and looks up booties on the internet, I could care less, okay? Bang! That like Filthy Frank once said, that shit is like NASA. And that's pretty much what most modern day, devices should be, okay? Like at the end of the day, being a fanboy of some plastic device that a company is producing, unless you're getting paid by Apple, by Samsung, by anybody, you just shouldn't simp for any of these companies, okay? Now, Apple is one of those groups where, like, genuinely they are behind the times when it comes to certain features that Android has. Now, Apple iPhones, if you own them, are pretty decent devices. I'll be the first one to admit. They are good phones. I think their battery life is great. I think they pack a lot of power into them. And genuinely speaking, if you buy an iPhone once, you probably don't have to upgrade it for like 4 or 5 years until they stop updating the actual software. So I think the value is kind of there if you're in the high-end marketplace. That said, they might as well slap a Fisher-Price engraving on the back of these devices because you're not allowed to really treat this like a power user. The reason that I use an Android device, aside from the fact that I can fold it open and get a little tablet and smartphone experience, which I actually do use a lot. I know people say, but Muta, that's gimmicky. At the end of the day, all right, your mom is a gimmick too, all right? Get over it. At the end of the day, I like having the device like this, but also I like having a device that I can plug into my computer, access the file system, one that I can upload files while the screen is closed, unlike Apple devices, which kill the connections, because, they want to protect the goddamn battery life. And, I'm sure the camera on Apple devices are better. But then again, I almost don't care because the actual quality difference is so infinitesimal. If I cared about picture quality, I just bring a DSLR wherever I went, okay? I don't care. Now, of course, the other aspect here is side loading. Now, if you ever like to have multiple apps on an Android device, you can install them from the Play Store. You can install them from whatever third-party store you wanted. Shit, you can download an APK right off the web and install it. Now again, side loading is a feature which allows you to install whatever you want on the device you own. And I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to actually go and check what an Apple price costs here. Like, well, how much is an iPhone these days? What is that, 14? Starting from what, 1549? Wait, how much is a terabyte? 2239. Shit, even if you get the cheapest option, it's like 1549. If you're buying an iPhone for $1,500 and you can't do whatever you want with it, you're getting fisted, brother. Now again, I could complain about a whole bunch of things. The fact that these smartphone people still don't ship power bricks with over $1,000 phones. Again, I guess they must be saving an arm and a leg there. But ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to these devices, if you're not able to sideload whatever you want or be able to use these devices with all the guardrails off, I think that's pretty cringe. Now, Apple has had a benefit throughout the years, a security benefit, being that you can only install applications from the App Store. Your choices of getting malware are pretty nil. Apple does a pretty good job of making sure malware doesn't stick around. But ladies and gentlemen, obviously things do sometimes sneak through, but without sideloading, you typically are relatively safe. Now, it's not that Apple devices can't sideload. Now, it's not that sideloading is typically, illicit. It's not like you can't do it. There are ways to get it going. There are a few servers or a few tools that you can individually use that allow you to use third-party programs or sideload applications. But Apple has this weird thing where, like, it gives you a 7-day lease, so you have to keep tethered in order to use these applications. It can't be as simple as just using an Android device. Now, because of a new law or laws in the European Union, thank God, there are two things that Apple has to concede on. One of them is USB-C. You know, the one port that everyone uses around the world except Apple because they need to have a goddamn lightning port somehow? Yeah, that's going to be forced onto them. Thank God! Meaning European iPhones are going to be much better to use across the board than just fucking your average American iPhone. Then, of course, they've got side loading. Now, Apple has to comply because the EU has regulated it. proving regulations and times can be very good in order to give a benefit to the actual consumer. So iPhones in the European Union with the new update are going to have to allow sideloading. Now, from what I understood, ladies and gentlemen, Apple is not going to be bringing this to any country that isn't regulating it, and they are going to be doing the bare minimum to allow this to comply. Again, they're not too happy about it. Apple's literally been fear-mongering people about sideloading since goddamn 2021, especially when they were getting sued by Epic Games, and I believe still are. So of course, ladies and gentlemen over here, iPhone is a highly personal device where users store some of their most sensitive information. That's true. That's very true. Of course, some are demanding that Apple support the distribution of apps outside the App Store through side loading. Supporting side loading through direct downloads and third-party app stores would cripple the privacy and security protections. How the fuck would it cripple it when this is an entirely optional thing, Apple? You know, then they got some bullshit statistics like, you know that Android phones are 15 to 47 times more infections than Android? Stop! European agency has reported 230,000 new malware infections a day. Nearly 6 million attacks per month. Now, of course, yeah, obviously sideloading can have malware into it. You have to have a little bit of common sense. Just don't download off shadyappstores.com. That's all you have to do, dumbass. And for those people wondering, but Muda, this is going to make it unsafe. You don't have to participate in it. You don't have to do anything. The reason I'm making this video is, honestly, as cool as this feature is, Apple fanboys have proven that they are untouched, unwashed virgin fucks. And we're going to actually go through some comments here real quick, just so we can laugh at them together. Here's one right here. Sideloading is extremely dangerous. I tried to install CSGO on my Android phone, but instead I got an ad malware and had to factory reset. After that, I never used an Android again. Yeah, you might be one of the stupidest people I've ever seen. First off, who the hell is trying to play CSGO on a goddamn phone? And if you know that CSGO, which a quick Google search will tell you is only available on PC platforms, why would you trust some shady APK file? You might as well have downloaded Grand Theft Auto 6 leaked beta.apk and the same shit would have happened. This is you self-reporting your stupidity. Sideloading, or the allowance to sideload, which typically would have you going into a system setting menu, like Android, and allowing you to install unknown applications. There are so many points where the actual OS will tell you this is unsafe that I doubt most normies are going to fall for this and ever jump down this. The only people that are going to be using this are people that actually want to install third-party applications and knowingly will do so. So if you get your account hacked, it's on you, dog, not anyone else. I love this one. It has nothing to do with inbred Apple fans. Context here, I call Apple people inbred, which I guess they are. Dumbasses, it's just normie people expressing worry and giving the arguments they've heard. This has the same energy as those Linux gatekeepers. No one's gatekeeping Linux, dumbass. You can install it yourself right now. I don't care. I would love if you chose to participate. Shit. But see, the other thing is, when I'm reading comments like this, yes, normies are worried. Absolutely. But just take it from somebody like me, this isn't as scary and doom and gloom as some people are putting out there. You have to willingly select the option to go into the third parties. If you don't want to get hacked, just don't do it. That's it. Your security isn't compromised. Just stay in the walled app store. Again, it's like people just don't understand basic computer concepts. How do we go from a society that had to learn computers back in the early 90s to not even knowing what a fucking application file is anymore? Insanity! We are dumb as a species. I love this. Can't wait to need to install antivirus and malware blocking software on my phone. Thanks, EU. This is a verified, blue check mark, by the way, too. Again, proving that check marks have, the worst takes imaginable. You don't need to install the third-party shit. You don't even need antivirus software. Hell, you're an idiot if you use antivirus software in general, in my opinion. You don't need it. Don't participate in it, then you're still safe. Not good. A lot of virus and scams about to be installed on iOS because of this. Again, you think Apple isn't going to make a billion Dare PSA ads every time you try to install a third-party application by telling you you can get scammed? I'm sure most normies are going to be just fine. All right, if you're an idiot that chooses to get scanned by clicking on download IPA for $1 million free or free COT points, then you're an idiot, okay? Most people aren't even going to be affected by this. I love, how about security? For own risk of user, don't participate. That's all you had to do. It's literally checkmark journalists who work in tech, by the way. They work in tech news, and they still have no idea this is a purely optional thing. It sounds like the downfall of Apple iOS to me. Yeah, one of the most popular mobile operating systems is going to have a downfall, right? Absolutely. Fucking brilliant analysis there, buddy. Jesus Christ. Jim Cramer should hire you on God damn. I see not being able to sideload as the feature that was something that distinguished iOS from Android. Now it won't have that choice anymore. Some apps will only be available by sideloading. Yeah, being locked down wasn't a feature, okay? Having handcuffs isn't a feature. That's called a limitation. Again, literally only Apple fanboys and fangirls and everything in between will goddamn complain about actually getting features that would make people like me consider buying an Apple product again. So of course, ladies and gentlemen, yes, some applications will be only available by sideloading. For instance, emulators. Apple's not going to let them on their store. RetroArch can finally release an AP or IPA file and allow you to install that on an iOS device. So you iOS gamers can finally start to safely emulate. And guess what? You know, there are pretty cool things like Skyline for Android, which is a legit Switch emulator. You know, you can play actual Switch games, some of them nearly at full speed, on an actual Android device. Kind of insane. But even beyond that, there's a whole slew of enterprise applications, pro-user applications that wouldn't be available on app stores that you can install for free and use them with safety as long as you know what you're doing on your Android devices. And now Apple users finally get to experience that to some extent. It really shows me that Apple people really don't understand what the hell they're doing. I feel like most Apple users buy this device and have no fucking functional idea of what technology even is, of what their mobile operating systems can do. Ladies and gentlemen, sideloading is an objectively great feature, and you should actually push your politicians to force Apple to do this across the entire world if you can. Believe it or not, if you're in Europe, your iPhone experience just got way better than an American iPhone experience. Why? Because you actually had politicians that know what they're talking about, that know this technology, and forced Apple to comply with the rest of the world and keep them finally on the same goddamn level. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great feature. It really is. And if you feel your security is at risk, well, guess what? Live in a bubble, okay? Don't download anything from unless it's on the approved app store, and you'll be fine. Again, Apple fanboys and girls and everyone, some of you people are clinically unhinged, okay? You have no idea what you're talking about. Hopefully, if you have somebody in your family, your friend circle, your Discord circle, whatever, that is genuinely stupid and false for this fucking, you know, the stupid misinformation, send them this video, okay? Because I guarantee if they can make it all the way through this and not see the light, then they are genuinely stupid individuals, and there ain't no fucking way you can save them. Anyways, yeah, good. Good job, EU. Congratulations. Big win over there for Apple users. And if you're in the American side and you're scared of it, well, I guess stay scared. Anyways, me, Mutahar, and yeah, I'm genuinely befuddled how anybody could find this to be bad. I am out.